so much survival that's not met that it's hard to find and connect with each other because you're constantly in survival.
Sister Wives, season 19, episode 13, first impression part 2. And yeah, couldn't have said it better myself.
What do you wish people would ask you about?
I don't know.
Because I think you would share.
We shouldn't be hiding how we feel.
Yeah.
That's what that religion did to me anyways. It taught me how to be fearful of saying what I thought.
What you thought and what you felt.
Yeah.
You had to protect everybody else.
Yeah, and it's truth is truth.
Yeah.
You need to understand why you're feeling that way and move through it, not fear it.
Literally no notes. Yeah, all of that. So Mary, for a reminder, she went out to lunch with her friends, and these friends were actually both adjacent to polygamy. One married into it, one was just raised in it, but they were all raised in it. You get what I'm saying. But they sat down, and I just picked a couple clips out of this because, yeah.
I think there's a way that you can live plural marriage and everybody be okay. You don't think that? You don't?
I've never seen it work.
Really?
I don't know anyone happily married in polygamy.
Maybe I'm just like wishful thinking.
Giving her the bare bones right here. But okay, so here's where I do have one note on this. So I have not talked about this in a while. Polyamory and polygamy are not the same thing. Polygamy has a lack of consent, equality, all of that stuff. But if we're talking polyamory, that can actually work. It just depends on how everyone's doing it. You gotta be open and you have to be wanting to do that, right? That's the only note on that one. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard from what I can tell. Keep in mind though, my opinion is from observation simply, and these people have lived experience, so it's a little different. Her friend then goes on to explain about how her dad had 13 kids and he had all of these wives and everything, and that, you've got 3 kids that are sick, you've got, one that's up in the middle of the night with a bad dream, and her dad never slept. Now, Kody never did any of that, so that one is a little different, but she basically explains, yeah, I grew up in this, I've seen this, and I've never known anyone to truly, from the bottom of their soul, be happy.
And yet, are there monogamous husband and wife that are completely happy all the time?
I don't have to wonder if my husband loves sleeping with me more than someone else.
Who's that?
I don't have to wonder if my husband's going to provide for a different wife more than me.
One thing that I find incredibly interesting, and you'll see this pretty much across the board from someone who knows way too much about this stuff, let's just acknowledge that, is that when you watch documentaries and about a lot of these groups, what they will do is that they will compare that situation to monogamy. And they've kind of been instructed, and it's a big vibe in there, that monogamists are more unhappy or equally unhappy. So why are you complaining kind of thing? Another way to get people to keep sweet. Oh, wait, I have a clip. Oh, hold on.
I've seen a lot of monogamists. All they do is fight and quarrel. I think they're more unhappy than we are in a lot of situations.
That is Owen Allred. He became the prophet of the AUB after Rulon C. Allred passed away. That's a whole rabbit hole if you want to go down. It's a story for another day. That would be his second wife, and a lot of people always love how she's knitting very passive-aggressively, but you can hear tones of that because it is really driven home through a lot of what's being said. I almost forgot one of the most important bits of that information. Also, Owen is actually her great uncle because he was the brother of her grandfather, who was the person that founded the AUB, and Kody actually wanted to marry Christine because he wanted street cred within the AUB.
I think generally in religion, divorce is not something that's encouraged. There is this expectation that you have to be miserable and or in so much danger that, okay, I guess it's okay that you have a divorce. Part of you probably staying was, I don't know, did I do enough? Did I suffer enough? Did I give Kody unlimited chances?
Yeah.
And I even hear it now, you probably would do one more chance. There's a point where they don't deserve the chances.
Yes. Those are the people you want around you, not robbing, coercing in the junk journal and all of that stuff, right? So then we jump to more of Christine's wedding dress shopping, and basically she tries on a couple and they make some jokes that are funny, but she's actually going to go with the Frankenstein's monster dress, which is basically like a dress that's pieced together, because remember, Frankenstein was a doctor, not the monster. The monster doesn't canonically have a name. I probably said that wrong, but that's okay. So then we go into talking about Janelle's wedding.
When Kody and I got married, my family was very upset with my decision to join the faith. So most of my family was not talking to me or associating with me. I had a green dress I wore. That was it. My mom was at the wedding because she came to save me from the polygamists and ended up marrying Kody's dad 3 months before we got married. So my mom was obviously okay with it, but the rest of my family was really not okay with it, so they didn't come.
Now, what's interesting there is Janelle's ex-husband was actually at Mary and Kody's wedding because Janelle's ex-husband was Mary's brother, who has since passed away. But that's kind of how she knew them. And a lot of people, I saw people come arguing in the comments about why him and her broke up and all this stuff. There's a lot of rumors, but pretty much she's always just said they didn't have similar goals, so it didn't work out. Keep in mind, this is all being spoken about in the context of like Christine getting her dress and her wedding and all this stuff. And then this pops in and the vibes, or I don't get it.
Now that Christine's moved on and I know that she's dating and stuff, it's just what it is. I have to just, I've had to just let it go. I'm sort of dealing with a little bit of identity issues, going, where's my future? I disappeared. So, having to think about that a lot.
I found this interesting because it was under the guise of like, I'm upset because Christine's dating whatever, but actually it's more about, well, this was my identity, even though I didn't nurture these relationships or anything like that. It's just very interesting. And all the pop-ins of her in this episode seemed very misplaced and kind of strange. Then it goes into the scene with Robin talking about her daughters and they're going to this new church and all this stuff. And honestly, I'm not going to play really anything from that scene, especially because a lot of people have been looking around, and I was talking about this in the video yesterday, and that church is very anti-alphabet, if you know what I'm saying. Not too many Friends of the Rainbows in there. And so that really has made me question, and I do want a concrete answer, I wish I could ask, is why aren't they showing up at certain events? Does it have something to do with the fact that they don't want to be pictured in public because they would get in trouble there? I'm not sure. Then Kody showed his whole patella again.
I don't think any of my kids are going to live plural marriage. I could possibly see it if one of my daughters wanted to marry a married man. I don't think the experience they've had with our family would make them want to do that. So I really wouldn't care to have my daughters in plural marriage. I really don't think any of my sons are interested in plural marriage either.
You know what I heard? I would never want my daughters to be treated the way that me and my friends treat women, but my sons, they'd actually probably have a good time. That's fine. Then he goes on to say he's a maverick in his family. Girl, you ain't even goose. Let's just get that right out on the table. Then they go back into trying cakes and a lot more of Christine's wedding stuff. Then Kody, remember at the beginning of the episode, he was like, I never treated anyone differently. Then he says this.
When she first told everybody that pissed me off. But as time has gone on, they're gone. I'm out of this relationship with these other wives. I'm like way more inclined to accept that.
Now that you got rejected, yeah, you never liked them and choose yourself. Oh my God, that is so original. Anyway, that was the episode. I hope you guys have a good day and I will see you tomorrow. We're going to start talking about a lot of new documentaries. There's so much. I'll see you then.